morning. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of information on your real estate contracts. Let's kind of run through chapter 1 and chapter 2. Wanted to make sure everybody has the same book. Texas Real Estate Contracts 2013-2014 edition. James Wiedemer is the publisher. They should have plenty of these at the bookstore at the college. Like I was in my initial video, my introduction video, this book is a little bit difficult to follow, a little difficult to read, but it is a good book. The author of the book is a real estate attorney, and of course there's all kinds of attorneys out there. This particular guy specializes and has specialized in real estate law. So, I mean, he does kind of have some quirky things in the book, but anyway, it's really generally very informative and accurate. The chapter 1 in the book talks about the parties and how the real estate agent identifies the parties in a contract. And you have to realize, if you'll just envision yourself, and if any of you have ever bought or sold a home, then you understand kind of how the process works, particularly if you've ever bought or sold a home through a real estate agent or broker. But when you're sitting down across the table with your buyer, because you have to realize that the agent that is working with the purchaser is the individual that initiates this paperwork. So when you're sitting down across the table with your buyer, you're going to identify that buyer by using their legal names. And the book goes into John Smith and wife Mary, John Smith et Ux Mary. So there are some different interpretations or different formats that those of which in the book they're all valid and you can use those. Personally, as a business practice, I use and wife. I identify the purchaser, their full name, be sure you get their name spelled correctly on the contract, and then you're going to identify the seller. You're going to get the information on how to identify the seller out of the multiple listing service, or you can also access the owner of the property through Taylor-cad.org. That is the website for Taylor County for the tax office, property tax office. So you can identify those that individual or those individuals a couple of different ways. Once you get the buyer and seller identified, you're assuming that if it's a husband and wife or man and lady, they're husband and wife. As the book points out a little further into the chapter, that's not always the case. And it gives you examples on how to identify tenants in common or people that are buying perhaps an investment property, those kind of things. From a real estate agent's point of view, we're not really concerned on what their marital status is. Typically, we just want to make a sale, and we want to make sure we have our parties identified correctly. Paragraph 2 goes into the legal description. It talks about the property, what we're selling, what the buyer is buying. And as you get a little further into the class, or your classes, if you're taking more than this one, the legal description is how the property is identified legally. So typically you have a subdivision that the property is located within, and it is identified with a lot and block. And of course you have to put the county in there, and then at the very end you'll put the city and the physical street address of the property. The rest of paragraph 2 identifies what automatically stays with the property. And that list through the years has gotten longer and longer and longer. So nobody takes for granted anymore that things stay. It has to be put in writing, and it has to be put in the contract. There's also a spot with a couple of blanks there that can be used if the seller is excluding anything. For example, drapes that match a bedspread, or if they're retaining a hot tub, or it could be a number of different personal property items that you can read in the book. Go look at in the book. So anyway, that's chapter 1 and 2, kind of an overview. I just want to make sure everybody is up to speed on everything. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I have a couple of email addresses on Canvas now, so either one of those emails will work. And again, good luck.